We don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. This is a quote by James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, and I really agree with this quote. Lately, like for the past month or so, I haven't had a structured routine. Therefore, I've been super lazy because I don't have clear instructions to adhere to. But last night, I decided to take it upon myself to lay out a structured routine, create a list of tasks to complete, and today has been more productive than a lot of the previous days, and I owe that to my routine, to my structure. See, human nature knows what we should do. You know you should work out, you know you should study, you know you should eat clean, you should do all these things. But the fact is, unless you have clear instructions to, you're probably not going to, and that's okay. Just understand this so you can create those clear instructions, and it'll be so much easier to adhere to. Like whenever I woke up, I got straight to work. And even waking up is part of my routine because I've been sleeping in, because I haven't had set instructions saying, hey, don't sleep in, wake up at this time. But last night I gave myself those instructions, so that is what I did. I woke up and I've had a really productive day so far, and I still have half of the day left. Now let's go back to the quote. We do not rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So an example for a goal is to become a successful YouTuber. That is a goal of mine. And if I don't have a system, then I'm just going to create YouTube videos when I feel like it. And I'm not going to be taking advantage of creating content all the time like I could. However, with my new system, it is a goal of mine to create daily YouTube videos. And if I didn't, I just simply wouldn't have the competitive advantage that I do have. Whatever goal you may have, imagine your rate now compared to if you did it every single day. Even if it is 5 minutes, like I just started meditating. It's been forever since I meditated, but I just gave myself the goal of doing 5 minutes a day. And eventually, I'm probably gonna have way more clarity just because it's in my routine. I know I should meditate, but it wasn't in my routine, so therefore I didn't do it. I know it will only benefit me, same with a lot of things. I know reading will only benefit me. I know writing would only benefit me. But now that these things are in my routine, I'll actually do them. Lately, I have been operating on feeling. Even though I know it's wrong, even though I know it's not gonna get me to where I want to be, majority of the time when I don't feel like doing something, I don't do it. But if it's in my routine, that's just extra incentive to do it regardless of how I feel. It doesn't matter how I feel, it's in my routine. It says at this time, do this, so I will. And I do it because I want the results. A couple videos ago, I made a video about my battle with sloth and laziness. I would call it rotting because I would be in my house all day consuming a stupid amount of content. And no, not beneficial content, a lot of content that I forgot, a lot of short form content from scrolling instead of like listening to a podcast or an ebook. It took me an extremely long time to where the feeling I got from being lazy was extreme enough for me to do something about it, where the feeling of wasting my time and wasting my potential finally added up enough for me to take action, and I did, and I felt better, but I wasted so much time previously that I can't get back. Now obviously I wish I did everything that I'm supposed to do all of the time constantly, but I'm not a robot, I am human. So I have to accept that and make it easier on myself by creating systems. I am glad I captured the day when I wasted a lot of it and I was rotting all day, because now I have had a really productive day and I can show you how I went from there to where I'm at now, which is being productive and not wasting my time, fulfilling my potential. Like I said, you have to have a structure, and you also have to be aware of how you spend your time. You probably spend a lot of time on distractions. So instead of just mindlessly being distracted, realize what is distracting you, what is taking your focus away, what is stealing your time, and then you can steal it back. Time is the most valuable asset that we have, more important than money. You could be the richest man on earth, but if you're old, you only have a certain amount of time, and then that money is useless. If you are young, and I don't mean 10, I don't mean 20, I don't mean 30, even 40, 50, that's still young. You still have years of time that you could utilize, and you could utilize it towards anything you imagine, anything you want to happen. It can come true, but it's all about how you use your time. Your time is currency. Right now, I am using my time to create this video, and it is what I enjoy doing. I like taking a finite amount of time and making it infinite, making it immortal, and also just providing value to anybody who stumbles across it. I could be using the same exact time to be mindlessly scrolling and wasting my time. I have goals, I have dreams. Even though I have the freedom to waste my time, I can't afford that, because if I do waste my time, I will have regret. And that is something that I want to help everybody prevent. I decided to turn making a video into an everyday task, and it started at my apartment, just going on a walk, and then it led to where I am at now, which is the park nearby. And eventually I just want to visit all the parks and do the same exact thing. And with every single one, I'll get slightly better. The power of compounding is insane. Doing something as little as 5 minutes a day will compound like crazy. Ask yourself, what do you want your life to look like, and what are habits that you can do daily to get you there? You don't have to commit to doing a ton of it, just a little bit every single day. I would like to prove it by doing a video every single day and eventually it blowing up, proving my point. I don't expect a lot of views from this, but I am growing in the process, and that is what is important to me. There's something called the plateau of latent potential. Let's say you have an ice cube. If it is cold enough, it will stay an ice cube, and if you gradually increase the temperature just by 1 degree, it won't change. Just by 2 degrees, it probably won't change, but eventually it'll hit a degree that causes it to start melting. Now that doesn't mean that all of the previous degrees didn't matter, because it got it closer to that goal until eventually it broke the plateau of latent potential, until it caused change. This is what your habits will do. So like for example, me making daily videos, eventually it will pay off astronomically. But that doesn't mean that one video that blows up is what it took. It also took all the previous videos. Self-improvement is a beautiful thing. You can infinitely become better in any realm. So choose your realm and get at it. Once this series gains traction and I start getting interactions, I would love for people to comment what they want me to talk about. Any form of self-improvement, I would love to give my advice, and if it's something that I'm not familiar with, I'll study on it and become more qualified to speak on it. So I was on my walk and I met Nate here, and I was telling him how with this series, I also want to start doing interviews and just asking questions that will really benefit the viewer. So I asked ChatGPT because I didn't have those questions ready, but I'll go ahead and ask you the first one.
Let's do it.
What does success mean to you, and how do you measure it in your life?
I think success to me, I think success to everybody is different. I think for me, being successful was finding a family and like settling down and just being happy, content. I've never been big on like, chasing the bag or anything like that. But, I just being content in your everyday, going home, having your happy family, having food on your table. To me, that's what I would consider success.
Okay.
But
so that kind of leads to this question. What role does gratitude play in your life, and how do you express it?
I'd say gratitude's huge in my life. I've definitely, I've come from where they didn't really have all that much, and still don't really have all that much, but you learn to appreciate it, what you got.
Yeah, that's good.
And yeah, every day you being content is a choice, So
Are you content?
Yeah, I'd say I am.
Do you think that stunts your growth?
I think you can become complacent, and you're so content that you don't think of what could be better. You get comfortable. I don't know that I would say it's actively stunting my growth right now. My wife and I, we've got a lot of future plans in the works right now, but I definitely think it can, if you're not, too careful with it.
Yeah. I'm oriented about self-improvement. Do you have any goals or passions that you want to just achieve?
Yeah, I would say like personal goals, like hobby-wise, I really want to get good at being a musician, playing the piano and stuff. I'm just kind of learning right now. But professionally, I found myself in a job that it's not what I went to school for. It's not what I envisioned myself doing. But I'm really finding myself enjoying. So I'm just trying to do everything I can to flesh that role out and develop the skills to be really good at it,
Yeah.
And maybe make a career out of it, Who knows? But
I saw some type of quote that was along the lines of, it's not about your 9 to 5, it's what you do when you're 5 to 9.
yeah.
So how often do you pursue music? How often do you practice?
Well, almost every day. I mean, not as much as I would like to. I don't get the carve out time like I would like to. But I try to get in at least 20 minutes a day to just, if nothing else, just play my favorite song or two that I've learned and just, for
That's
fun.
good.
But on a good day, I'll sit there for hour and a half, 2 hours or so, and just try.
Yeah, that's amazing. So at the very beginning of this video, I started with a quote from Atomic Habits, the book. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, I've read it actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So if in your system it is to do music daily, then eventually it will compound and you'll become a way better musician.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that you are consistent with it, and even 5 minutes daily would drastically improve your ability. But
Sure.
if some of those days, like you said, are a couple hours, then you're definitely on the right trajectory.
Yeah. No, I would agree. And it's good. I think it's good to set some goals and deadlines too. For example, my brother's getting married next summer, And so like one of my goals is to be good enough to play something for him at his wedding because he asked me to. And so I've got a year to
that's it.
not just learn the skills, but I guess to be confident enough, I guess, to do that.
Yeah.
So I think having set deadlines too does help you, you know, kind of manage your growth on it a little bit, you know. But
yeah. One last question. It's a two-part. How old are you?
26.
26. And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Honestly, I would say not to sweat the small stuff. Like the way I pictured my life turning out when I was younger, like I've always been a big planner. Like someone says, hey, let's hang out. I'm like, okay, what day, when, what time, who's picking up who? Like, you know, I'm very, very like, gotta know all the details. And I would say my life did not turn out how younger me pictured it, you know? But like I said earlier, like I'm happy, I'm content, it all worked out. And you know, go with the flow a little bit. Just walk through the doors when they open for you, and if they shut, don't sweat it. And yeah, that's probably what I'd say to myself.
That's awesome. I saw a video recently, and it's what you should actually worry about in your 20s. And that was part of it, is you're not gonna have it figured out. So stop comparing yourself. You're not supposed to have this figured out at this time in your life. You just have to figure out about yourself. You got to use your 20s to gain that knowledge. Like you said, doors will open.
Yep.
And yeah, that was the gist of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate this interview. It's the first of many.
Yeah, sweet. Well, thank you. It was very nice meeting you on this walk.
You too, bro. That was a great interaction and an amazing addition to this video. I didn't plan it, but I do want to go to different parks, do the same thing, and hopefully have more great interactions. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know if you have any feedback. I'll see you in the next one, and as always, stay sedulous.